Okay, we're up in an attic and we're going to check all the outlets, make sure they're hooked up right, and make sure we have good connections behind them all. Here in the country I was born in, we use 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps, 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps. Black is live, white is neutral. The bare, the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live in a switch loop or a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. Just let it fall, you don't care about it. Just let it fall. Okay, so we gotta get this out of here. Let's look and see what we got here. Okay, making sure power is off. Untape our wires here, see what they did. This is why I don't like taping around the outlets, because the tape just comes off with time. So let's see, the black is good, it's tight. The white looks good. We're going to close the loop on this ground wire and the white wire. See how they could get the insulation under there a little bit? Open this up so we don't get the insulation under the screw head. Take a little more insulation off. Now this one they had the insulation under the screw head a little bit. It's tight. Now we can look at our wire nuts and see how they did with in the wire nuts here. They weren't quite even here, so take our clippers and we'll clip them so they're even with the shortest one here, like that. And the insulation is okay here. Okay, so we got our blacks redone here. We're going to get our white wires, see how we did in the white wires. They're a little uneven on the end here, so we'll clip this here. Connection. Alright. And I'll look at our ground wires here and see if they got them all even on the end here. No, they're not. If they're not even on the end, the wire nut will not grab all the wires. That's why you want to have your wires even on the end of the twist. So we're going to twist this down nice and tight. Okay, now we put our wire nuts back into our box here. And we'll put our outlet back in. Now we're going to keep our ground down at the bottom here. We'll zigzag it across the bottom, and we'll keep it down here so it's away from everything. Okay. This is a Robertson #2 screwdriver and one on the other side. I like using this instead of the regular Phillips screwdriver because it just tears the heads of the screwdriver up. And we'll just make sure our ground wire is down away from everything. We have our chargeable flashlight here. Push our ground wire down so it stays away from everything and it doesn't touch anything we don't want to touch. And we'll go down to our next outlet. Now this is 14 American wire gauge on a 15 amp circuit here. Let's see how they did hooking this one up. Okay, so I'll take our tape off here. So they didn't close their loops up very good here. So we'll open up our ground connection here. We'll close our loop there a little bit better. Make sure it's tight. Open up our white wire. We'll take it off here. So we're going to put this in with our ground wire down over here. So we'll fix our loop so we don't get the insulation caught under the screw head here. You always put your white wire on the silver screw and your black on the brass screw. Wow, see how they got the insulation under the screw head here? I'll put the light on it so you can see how they got the insulation under the screw head. You don't want that. See how the loop was too big? So we're going to open that up. We'll bring it back this way. When you tighten the screw, it turns the wire around the screw the direction the screw turns. Okay, so I'll check our wire nuts and see how they did here. Oh, they got 4 wires in this one, so we're going to take this off here. We're going to see we've got all our wires even on the end here. Clip them here. We'll make sure they're all even with the shortest one there. I enjoy not being able to see. It's a joy. Okay, all insulation's even on the bottom, and all our copper's even at the top. Make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, now we can check our white wires here. Okay, they're not even. So we can clip them so they're even with the shortest one. Okay, I see all 4 wires even on the end here. That way you make sure that they're all going to grab inside the wire nut. And we'll take our ground wires here. Wow, they're not even either. So I'll clip them so they're all even on the end here. Okay, now we can fold our wires back into our box. I'll fold them this way I can get them back in further. Okay, I'll push your grounds back in here like this. Okay, now we can fold our wires back into our box. We'll keep our ground wire in the back here. We'll go up and down with our black and white and we'll go across the bottom with our ground wires here. We'll just keep it down on the bottom here. I really like this light. It makes seeing a lot easier. Okay, I can push this ground wire back out of the way. If I couldn't see that, I would have missed it. When you miss something, it's not good. But you know what? If you don't see it, you don't see it. Okay, I got that back out of our way here. Got our ground wire down away from everything. So we're ready to go to our next outlet. Alrighty, I like to think refreshing thoughts and drink some Pepsi and give me some nice, fresh, refreshing thoughts. Doing the next outlet here. Let's see how to open this one up. Oh, this is an end one here. Well, you know what? I'm not frustrated. I don't even care if I have that tester with me. Don't even care. Well, they didn't even close the loops very good on this one. So we will open up our screw here. I'm going to strip this one a little longer so we don't get the insulation under the screw head. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. Those are loop the direction screw turns. And I rejoice in not finding the flathead screwdriver. Just rejoice in not finding things, that's all. Make sure it's tight. Flip it over, see how they did on the black. Okay, the black doesn't look too bad. We'll just make sure it's tight. Our insulation's now, oh, our insulation is under the screw head a little bit. So I'm going to take that off. Bell broke. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now we can put our wires into the box. We'll fold our ground wire zigzag across the bottom like this. We'll go up and down with our black and white like this. We're going to just keep that ground wire drawn away from everything here. Okay, I need to get my flashlight up here. Make sure our ground wire is down away from everything here. Yeah. Okay. Check this one out. Another end one here. We'll just make sure it's on. See how this tape comes off after a while? So I don't even tape them. Okay, they didn't close the loop on this one here, or the ground. Well, what happened to my, needle nose? But you know what? I do not frustrate. I do not. Oh, here they are. Close this ground wire loop. And bring our loop back so it's not so big. I want to make sure we get our copper under the head all the way. And our white wire. It's stripped a little short, so we'll make it a little bit better. And just bring our loop back a little bit more so we don't get our insulation to the screw head there. Yeah, that's what we want. Our insulation is up to the screw head and our copper's under the head all the way around. Our black is pinched a little under the... Oh, look at that, didn't even close the loop. See where that copper is? It's all the way up there. We have to strip this one a little longer. See See how they got the insulation under the screw head there? So we'll open this up. We'll take a little more insulation off here. Make our loop. You always make your loop the direction your screw is going to turn. Go this way. See how that turned into a square? I don't like that. See what I do with that? I just cut it off. Okay, tight like that. Okay, now we can fold our wires into our box. We'll go up and down with our black and white. We'll keep our ground wire down here on the bottom. We'll push into our box. So I can make sure our ground wire is down away from everything. And it is. We'll go to our next one. Okay, we're going to put a new one on this one because this one got all covered with foam. You can see all the foam on it there. Wow, look how sloppy they did the black wire, the copper, the wire ends, not even around the screw. Okay, so this one's all covered with foam, so we're going to put a new one on here. And we'll close the screws we're not going to be using, just so it's out of our way. Okay, we'll look at our wire nuts here. This one is a little uneven on the end, so I'll just clip them so they're even on the end here. Wire nut on, so it grabs all the wires. Let's check the white wires. Hey, they were even, so we don't have to do anything with that one. Make sure it's nice and tight. ground wires. I have the white wire tangled in one black one, so I'll get that out of there. Check our ground wires. They're not quite even, so I'll put them so they're even here. Okay, so I'll get our browns in the back here, get our black ones in here, get our white tails in here. Okay, our white loop looks okay. We do our ground loop a little bit different here. Put your wire around the screw backwards when you tighten the screw. It will open the loop rather than close the loop. You want it to close the loop. Make sure it's nice and tight. Yeah. I thought just where the sheetrock wasn't up. Make sure it's tight or insulation's not under the screw head.
What did you turn that heat up to?
62. 62.
Up to what?
62.
52?
62.
62?
Yeah.
God, you're killing me. You turn it back down. Higher now.
Let me strip this a little longer. To make your loop the traction screws turn. Make sure it's tight, your insulation's not caught under the screw head. Okay, so we'll go right across the bottom, keep our ground down at the bottom here. Make sure the ground wires down away from everything here. Okay, now we're off to our last one. Now this one has foam all over it, so we'll replace this one. just easier to just clip the wires right off. And we can look and see how they did hook them up. Wow, look how poorly they put that white wire around the screw. I'll put the light in here so you can see it. That's a pretty poor connection. Okay, we'll look here and make sure our wires. Oh wow, this one is not even at all. Cut it even with the shortest one, so that our wire nut grabs all the wires. Okay, see how they do with our white wires. White ones not quite perfectly even, so I'll just clip the one that's a little long here, not just a little switch in here. Let's see how they did on the black wires. Wow, those are way off. They have one way back here, so we're going to untwist all this here. And we'll restrip the one that was way too short. You always strip with the hole that matches the wire size. You don't mar the wire and make a weak spot. Get the insulation even at the bottom here. Bring our tail in, get the insulation even at the bottom here. There, they're all nice and even. So I want them, and I'll just clip it even with the shortest one here. Roll our wires back into our box here. Roll it up. Strip off about an inch. Close the screws we're not going to be using. Nice and tight. Put our light around the silver screw. Close the loop up the direction our screw is going to turn. Let's do 1, 2, and break the 2. Make sure it's tight and get a nice connection like that. Flip it around. Put our black on the brass cord screw. That's the most copper you want to have behind your screw. That goes up to the bottom of the plastic, and our Copper is under the head all the way around. Okay, so we'll fold that and ground across the bottom here. Just look with our flashlight here. Make sure our ground wire is down away from everything. It all looks good. It's nice to see the outlets are made here in the country I was born in.